Hey folks, now it's very common in the USA to hear people say that, that socialism or communism, these are foreign ideas, that the American way, the American people, we have always been believing in the free market and capitalism, and that these ideas, socialism, communism, these are foreign ideas that come from other places. People bring them in from other countries. They bring it in from Russia, from China, but we in the USA, it's always been everything that's native to the USA has always favored capitalism. Well, that's not the truth. And I think a pretty big piece of proof of that is this book, Looking Backward, published in 1888. This was the most popular book around at that time. At that point, there were only two books that had outsold it ever in U.S. history. Ben-Hur, and that was the novel Ben-Hur, which was very popular at that time, and the book Uncle Tom's Cabin. But other than that, this book, Looking Backward by Edward Bellamy, was the most popular book in the USA back in 1888. And what was it? It was a science fiction novel about a future United States that would be socialistic. It was written by Edward Bellamy, and interestingly enough, Edward Bellamy's cousin, Francis Bellamy, is the man who wrote the U.S. Pledge of Allegiance, and he was also a socialist. And this novel, Looking Backward, you read it, it presents an image of a future USA. This guy, he goes to sleep, he's hypnotized, and he wakes up hundreds of years in the future, and the USA is kind of a socialistic paradise. And it's a sci-fi novel, and it was very, very popular. And you read it, Edward Bellamy, he was a very religious man, almost a conservative, but he wrote this novel, and it just shook the United States. It was wildly, wildly popular. In fact, people formed Bellamy clubs all across the USA to promote the book and to promote this idea of what socialism might be like in the United States. You should look into Edward Bellamy. Socialist ideas are very much a part of U.S. history and U.S. society. So check out Edward Bellamy and Looking Backward. There's a whole history of people in the United States questioning capitalism and opposing capitalism. And in fact, the most popular book at one point in U.S. history was Looking Backward by Edward Bellamy.